Hello guys, Comical here. So finally, I just finished playing Gates to Infinity as the video you saw of me showing the Gates to Infinity cartridge. This is my third time recording this. This is ridiculous. The app from the Microsoft Mic app is ridiculous now. I don't know why it's doing that. So anyways, let's go on with the review for the game. So yes, I just finished, like I've said, I believe Saturday. Oh boy, I think getting back to gaming, was like, man, hectic for me because I haven't really played video games last year as of, I believe, up until February. It was when I came back, I guess. And I don't know, it's why I've come to realize that I can't really play video games a lot like I used to. It's just gonna kill my mind for real. Oh man. So that's not really what it's about. Let's get on to the real point of the video. So yes, Gates to Infinity. I know people have talked crap about Gates to Infinity, and people like Explorers. Explorers is the most popular one out of all the games. I think this is the only time I'm ever going to truly review one particular one instead of making a top 10, a top 4 list, I believe. I won't be putting the remake. The remake's out of that, unless I can combine some of the remake elements and the Red and Blue Rescue Team games. Well, Rescue Team DX is the remake's name. So anyways, like I've said, Gates to Infinity starts out like any regular game, but this time you really don't. You really don't get to choose. I mean, you really do get to choose your Pokemon. You don't have to be subjected to, you have to be this one instead of having to do a soft reset, like how the Pokemon games, they have a soft reset. Or a reset, whatever, and people would reset it so much that they would have to wait if they actually do get a shiny. It's kind of the same thing with Mystery Dungeon. You had to do that if you played up to Explorers. Was the last time you ever had to do that. I think that's a good feature that I don't mind them adding, where you can choose your own Pokemon. The thing is, I really was kind of sad that they didn't put a ton of Pokemon for you to play as. That kind of made it a bummer. But I will say this, and we're moving up to the story, of the game. I'm not going to talk too much about it because I feel like I'm going to be jumping. This is going to be a 10-minute video. I'll be jumping too much. And, I think the story, I thought, since people say this game is not the best out there, I thought the story was going to be the crappiest one out of all time. But no, I think in some elements it's kind of better than Super Mystery Dungeon, in my opinion. And hear me out, I think it has to do with making it a little more simpler, having a more simple story to tell compared to with Super Mystery Dungeon. I feel like they tried way too hard, and I think it did work out in the end, but the thing is, I feel like they're jumping too much into one story into another one. The school, you go to school and then you go to town to start being part of the Expedition Society. Believe that's what it's called, the Expedition Society, where you have Ampharos and everybody, which it was kind of a mix of both worlds. I think Super Mystery Dungeon did do a good job with that, trying to combine best of both worlds, a tribute to the first two games. But that's not what this is about. This is about Gates to Infinity. But yeah, Gates to Infinity story was quite more simpler, which kind of makes me think, I kind of like Gates to Infinity story better. Maybe because I feel like with Super Mystery Dungeon, they did kind of copy Bitter Cold with Dark Matter, which kind of like made me sad. Not to mention the fact that they remade the music, you know. I think the music from Gates to Infinity is as good as it always, out of all, every single Mystery Dungeon game has it like it's always been, you know. Like, I don't think there's a single Mystery Dungeon game that I can't really say that I really can't say I did not enjoy. I think most of the songs are great, you know. I think the majority of songs are great, but there are some that are not really that awesome, you know. They're kind of bland and they're boring, but they're still fun to listen to. I'm thinking, you know, Super Mystery Dungeon's music is definitely not the most iconic. If we're gonna compare that to Super Mystery Dungeon, I'm thinking it would have to be, when it comes to the music, I like both of their music, you know, but I feel like Gates to Infinity, like I've said already, it simplifies it a little more with the story, you know, and the characters are actually kind of good, you know. I feel like almost everybody, you have a ton of main characters. I feel like, I think what they did with this one is, I think they try to have them, you know, expand the characters with the team, you know. I think they did a great job with that. Like, say who joins your team as Espeon, Umbreon, Virizion, Dunspriest, and Emolga. You know, I feel like they expanded on their stories a little more compared to like the rest of the PMD games, including the latest one, not the DX, not the remake. But, and you know, it really, you know, I was actually kind of impressed, you know, with that. Because I've just come to grew to love their characters. I thought I would hate their characters because supposedly, well, I mean, people say it's not the best, but I think it's so much better compared to like, because I real like it, they're all coming to you in one area instead of having to jump from the Serene Village up to forgot what the town was called for. It's been kind of long playing. It's been since 2018 since I played the story, you know. So yeah. Shoot, man. I'm kind of losing my track. Hold on. But I will say this, you know, the game mechanics for the games, I do agree, it's definitely not the best, you know. Like, let's say, I'm thinking, I think to the point where, shoot, hold on. There we go. I still lost my track. I'll just keep doing it either way. So, I mean, the mechanics were not that great. Although I actually don't mind the apple being removed from as a feature for the game, you know. And the V-Wave, I do actually like the moment, you know, with Victini. I think that part where he was da 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 da. That was so funny. Like they tried to be funny by repeating Victini doing it like again and again. Da 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 da. That was the funniest part of the game, in my opinion. So much better compared to when they tried to be funny with. Well, okay, maybe I take that back, but they love. I mean, Virizion, when we first meet her, she was like the most popular one. She's the most popular out of the entire, you know, entire, like, she's like, compared to, I don't know if she's the only female. Maybe, I think Swano's the few females in town. I'm guessing the town is dominated by males. Like, and everybody falls in love with Virizion. Like, what the heck? Even the small ones, not the kids. No, that's wrong. Even though the smaller Pokemon like her. That was funny, you know. And I really do think the cutscenes were the best ones in the games. I really do. Compared to, like, say, I feel like the cutscenes were more consistent compared to like so I think when it comes to the best story, in my opinion, I'm gonna have to put it on third place. And Super Mystery Dungeon will have to go last for that, in my opinion, for the story. I'm still going to put Super Mystery Dungeon just because I think they did improve on some of the game mechanics. But anyways, that's another topic for a different video. So yeah, not too much. I forgot what I wanted to say about the feature. Oh yeah, okay, now I know what I was gonna say. So I'm gonna leave this as the last part of the critique of the video. Like I've said, the cutscene, I forgot to mention, I really do like. I think they did kind of go a little more darker when it comes to death, at least. I mean, they did that with Explorers, but I think they did a good job with Gates to Infinity as well when it comes to them beating, Kiram, beating your main character, It was like it was going to beat him to pieces and I think it may have done that with the other ones, because the plot twist for this one is that you're not the only human. I think the plot twist with, hydrogen, I mean, I kind of spoiled myself to that part. But, to think that Hydrogen was actually the Pokemon who got you in the world. He was supposed to be the spirit of life, I believe. I forgot. Dang it. So anyways, like I've said, let's go on to what I was really going to say. Like I've said, with the first one that you didn't get to hear, ha ha ha. Where you actually do your jobs, you just don't go in. Once you start joining your team, you have to go through your gate and you have to do a receptionist to claim the job, to get them to open the door for you. And the one thing I really, really hated was that you could not get regular. Once you start being a team member, you actually start, doing real tasks and jobs. You just don't get to reviver seeds or any items up until a certain part of the game where it allows you to do an outlaw mode where you get to battle outlaws. And that's where you actually get to start real items. Because I know the right one is designed for Girder to start building your paradise, And Paradise is not a very good sounding name. It sounds very unoriginal. Not my favorite. But it's still kind of a good name. Not bad either. So I really do like Espeon and Umbreon, because I think it really did make the story kind of cool when it comes to him having to take care of a certain item, of an item to protect the inner cards from her. And she had a red gem, which she gifted the child, I forgot. I think Swoodle, that's how you spell its name correctly. And that kid was quite smart, and how I feel like she exaggerated way too much with her crying, but I guess I can't blame somebody if they get sad and then they entrust their children to do a risky task, like they have to hand a child something to hide from their enemies, But even then, and she really did care for the kid. I really think that was the highlight of the story. And then Kiram, and how far, not to mention how I think it's kind of an exaggerated part, but the story where Dunspriest was thinking about, because he knew how weak, and it's very true, Dunspriest is kind of weak, but I think he kind of gets stronger moves once its level gets a little higher. I really like the part where he decides to stay, but Imoga had it planned all along so they could go to the glacier place, Dang it, I forgot. I have so much things in my mind I forget. So yeah, I really did like that part of the story. Like I've said, not a huge fan of that mechanic where you have to go through a gate to do tasks instead of just leaving like that. Like you have to ask for it first. It kind of makes me lazy. So yeah, I'm thinking I'm gonna have to cut it off from there, I don't think it's really one of the best games out there when it comes to Mystery Dungeon in general. I do think it's kind of low because of the game mechanics, and the fact that you don't get that many Pokemon that you get to choose, which was the problem with the first two games, Explorers of Time and Darkness excluding Sky, and Red and Blue Rescue Team. So yeah, I think I think it was a good thing that they did start to make it into one game, because I just feel like it doesn't make sense if they were to remove both of their, characters, like if it's not like the main series games is like the legendary Pokemon, and then the other one was like the mystery dungeon games. The only differences were the Pokemon that would appear in the dungeons, I'm not going to explain that. You'll probably have to search for another video. So anyways, that was pretty much what I wanted to say, I think there are much better reviews that I would recommend, looking into. Oh yeah, especially the post game, I really do like how they do, make it, how they make it, you playing your partner character, once when your body is gone. Not to mention the fact, this is I promise you this will be the last part, So, anyways, hold on. I have to make this part quick. I have to go. So anyways, like I've said, I think, the final part, I don't think it's the worst goodbye. So I'm thinking it's a little better than I thought I was gonna. When I first played, because I played Super first because I assumed, Gates, bad. But I will have to say I think both of them are great, but I think when it comes to you being the partner, I think it's one of the best ones. It's a lot better than Super Mystery Dungeon in my opinion, because you get to play your partner, and your partner tries to save you, or not save you, but at least tries to get your soul to come back to the Pokemon world, and he wants to wish you. And I really do like what they do with that one, because it gives a perspective of how the partner feels about what if I take that away from him. He gets to see all of us together from Paradise and our team members. But what about his family or her family back home? How would he feel about if he doesn't get to see his family again? And then I think Hydrogen proposes that you should have tried to at least have it both ways, to have it come back and forth into the Pokemon world. Which I guess that's a good compromise. Because literally when I kind of spoiled myself with the game, I literally thought every Pokemon was going to forget your memory for good. I literally thought that's exactly what was going to happen. And I think a couple of times, I think they did kind of forget, but I assuming when they were looking up to you, they were thinking that that was you in the yellow beam, the little yellow-blue bulb, yellow ball. So anyways, this is going to be it. Man, I think I kind of... See, I tell you, it's hard for me when I don't have a script, but I'd rather get the video out than just write a script. So anyways, thank you guys. I'll give it a 7 out of 10. I think the story was actually quite good. Not the best, but it was a good story. There were some memorable moments, not the absolute most, but I think the mechanisms, I give it a 2 out of 10, 5, 2 out of 5. Not very good in my opinion, because like I've said, I forgot but I do think the mechanisms were weird when you're in the dungeon, So anyways, that's all I have to say. See you guys in the next video. I will try to make the top 10 video a lot better than this video. So anyways, this is a remake because you know what? Bye. See you guys. I need to shut up. See you.